Alright, what is up guys? It is Brandon here bringing you guys the Omega Bat Association. This is actually week 1. If you guys don't know what OBA is, it's actually a competitive Pokemon draft league. I've been in it for the last 4 seasons now, so you guys should know. It's been on the channel since then. Starting week 1, your coach of the Grassy Raikous. If you guys are hyped for this match, feel free to drop a like down below. And subscribe if you want more videos like this in the future. I do apologize for the lack of uploads. It's pretty much just going to be pretty much OBA matches lately for now on, pretty much. I'm very busy and it takes a lot of time to prepare for these matches, so I really want to do good this season. Going into this match, my opponent had a very, very threatening draft. Probably not one of the most threatening drafts in the league. I did think I probably could, if I played very, very well, I probably could take this guy. Or KPG. We've battled like the last few seasons. I actually won against him once last season. We almost faced each other in I think the playoffs. I think it was close to playing the playoffs. I think it was. I beat him last season. He beat me the season before, if I'm not mistaken. I think he beat me. I think season 1 he beat me a few times too. I'm losing track of a lot of these matches we had, but just because it's so long time ago. He had a lot of threats. Really surprised he's not bringing the Kartana. He had threats like Kartana, obviously the Blastoise, which I really didn't think he was going to bring. But then again, looking at it, Darmanitan is such a monster that I guess that's really the reason why he did bring it. Mega Alakazam is a very, very big threat as well, just because I really have no solid switch in for it. I have to pretty much get a clean switch in each time if I want to kill that thing. I can kill it pretty much with anything, but something that takes a hit from it, I do not have on my roster. I really don't. That thing's a complete monster, and it really just runs through my draft. I have no switching for it. The only thing I can do is revenge kill it, so I really had to rely on that. He did bring a mammal. I knew he was going to bring a Stealth Rocker. He only has 2 Stealth Rockers. He also could have possibly brought the Volcarona, which is a huge threat he actually had as well. Volcarona, I know he had a few other things. Kartana, which I was very, very scared of. I think the only reason he did not bring that thing was because of the Darmanitan. A lot of different things. I don't know his complete roster off the top of my head, but I know he had a few things. Volcarona, Kartana, obvious things here. He actually brought us the Sylveon. I didn't think he was going to bring the Sylveon just because of the threat Mega Beedrill is. Even though Mega Beedrill, I guess Mega Beedrill really wouldn't really do too much against this draft. Probably one of the only weeks I probably won't be bringing Mega Beedrill, just because I really didn't see it doing too much to his draft. I think I could have went with this week without Mega Beedrill, and that's what we did. He brings the Mammal, Salamence, which I knew he was probably going to bring. Salamence is so damn good. Megazam, Lucario, which I was really surprised he was going to bring. Didn't think he was going to be bringing Lucario. He brought the Blastoise. I kind of expected him to bring the Blastoise just for a check to Darmanitan. However, at the same time, I really didn't expect him to bring it either, just because Rotom Wash really shuts it down and stuff like that. So I guess a check to Araquanid as well. That's the real reason he brought it. And the Sylveon. Again, didn't really expect him to bring the Sylveon just because of the threat of Mega Beedrill. Other than that, it really isn't too much of a problem to me. Just the lack of switch-ins if it's like a Specs variant. That's really the only problem it was. If it's like a bulky variant, I can deal with it decently well. It pretty much depended on a lot of his sets as well. I knew he was going to probably bring like a lead mammal, possibly like a Scarfed Bandit or a lead mammal. I knew he was probably going to bring like a maybe like a Devastating Drake, Salamence maybe, or like a DD set, or possibly a special set would be good as well. I knew he was going to bring probably the offensive Megazam, possibly a Calm Mind variant as well, I did predict. Wasn't quite sure if he was going to bring the Lucario, didn't really have anything planned for that. If he did bring it, it really wasn't that much of a threat. I could deal with it easily. Gets very walled by Hippo and Araquanid. There's really not too much you can do there. Blastoise, I knew he was probably going to bring the Blastoise. I really had nothing for the Blastoise. I could have brought the Rotom, but Rotom really gets shut down. Definitely gets shut down by the Megazam and stuff like that, and Volcarona, and a lot of things that really shut down. Kartana really shut down. That's really the main reason I didn't bring it, just because Kartana was such a threat to it. And he brings the Sylveon. Again, not really too much of a problem. If the only really problem is if it's like a Specs or like a Life Orb variant, then I have to kind of play around with it. But if it's more like a bulky Wish Pass or like Heal Bell set, I can pretty much stall it out if I need to. Going into my team, I'm actually running double Scarfers this week. Running Scarf Azelf with the Dazzling Gleam, because he had the possibility to bring actually Spiritomb as well. Even though I really didn't see him bringing it, he actually had the possibility of Spiritomb. So I'm running Dazzling Gleam, U-Turn, Knockoff, and Zed Headbutt. Expert Belt, Lycanroc, Day form. With the people on my team as well, I just pretty much thought to just throw it on the team with the Sand Rush. I run an Adamant Expert Belt with the, I think, Sucker Punch, Fire Fang, Accelerock, and I think Stone Edge. I think it's changed Rock Slide out for Stone Edge last minute, just because I need the extra power. Rock Slide really didn't do too much in the killing department. I really need the extra power from Stone Edge to really get a few crucial kills. I'm not quite sure what the kills were. I looked them up earlier today. I did change it last minute though. So that would be very, very good under the sand. Possibly outspeed. I think it outspeeds the Mega Zam as well under sand, so that's very nice. Sucker Punch actually OHKOs it after rocks. Bringing the defensive Hippowdon, Miss Piggy, a Baron Corp, and Gasper. So far, that's what I have him nicknamed. Miss Piggy, which actually happens to be a male. Defensive, max HP, max defense, running Stealth Rock, Whirlwind, Earthquake, and Slack Off. More of a phaser set, just in case he wants to bring DD Salament or something like that. Calm Mind Sylveon, I don't know, something like that. Set up Spear Tomb, I don't know. Quiver Dance, Volcarona as well. I could live one hit from it at least and Whirlwind him out. Scarf Darmanitan, he really has no switch-ins for Darmanitan. Apart from like Blastoise, he really has no switch-ins. I guess maybe Salamence, but once I get my rocks up, it only has a limited time to switch in. And he really doesn't have the best Rapid Spin support. I think he has a Blastoise. I think he has Defog on Kartana as well, if you want to run that. Apart from that, he really doesn't have too much good Defog support. Scarf with the Flare Blitz, pretty much standard. Flare Blitz, U-turn, Rock Slide, Earthquake, Sheer Force. Running special defensive Hitmontop with Intimidate, mainly just pretty much switch in. I really need something as my 6 mon to slap on. Hitmontop was the best thing. Everything else either got bought by Kartana or got completely blown back by another different mon. Pretty much a neutral thing for the last mon. Threw this on Hitmontop with the Protect, Rapid Spin, Low Kick, and the Toxic. Mainly a stall Rapid Spin mon for my Rapid Spinner. Araquanid actually Assault Vested with max HP. I think it's either max HP or max special defense or max attack. I'm not quite sure which one I did. I think it was max special defense, I think. Or it could have been max attack. I'm not quite sure. I should have to look again. But pretty much standard. Frost Breath was on there. I actually tacked that on there because it does more than Liquidation to Salamence. I think after -1, Liquidation doesn't do as much as Frost Breath. So that's really the reason I had it on there. Poison Jab, Liquidation, Leech Life. We're going to get right into this. I'm talking for too long. But this is actually a very, very good match. I actually want to pat myself on the back just because I played very, very, very well in this match. So, pat myself on the back. I played very well in this match. Not really too many plays I regret either. He's going to lead with the Mamoswine. Judging by his team, if he wanted to lead Mammal, Gasper was my best lead here. I am Scarfed, so if he Scarf as well, he can't Earthquake me. He has to go for the Icicle Crash. Scarf Mammal really wasn't too much of a problem. He probably has more than likely Stone Edge and Rock Slide for Araquanid though, so... it's mostly dealt with by Hitmontop. It really can't do too much after Intimidate, so probably one of my key switch-ins for Mammal a few times in this match. I get the Intimidate off, he actually misses the Icicle Crash, so very bad on my opponent's part. He actually ends up missing. Goes on to the Blastoise here. I knew he's either going to switch out. He needs to keep that thing around just for my Lycanroc and Darmanitan, possibly. Go for the Toxic. I need to get this thing willed down. This Blastoise is probably one of the most huge problems in this match. At the point, I'm not really even worried about Mega Zam, even though Mega Zam is probably the second most huge problem in this match. I go for the Protect to get more Toxic damage here. Once I get this Blastoise weakened to the point where it gets down a little bit below half, Flare Blitz actually does kill it on pawn switching. Also wanted to get my rocks up as well for the Salamence and just for anything that wants to switch around. Judging by his team as well, at this point in the match, I realized that his Sylveon could be a possible, like a bulky support set as well, just because Blastoise has really no recovery. So that's probably the other thing he was actually running, just to keep his Blastoise healthy with Wish and possibly Heal Bell. So I'm really hoping that it actually is an offensive variant so I can deal with it a lot better. If it was like an offensive, like Choice Specs variant, then it could have did some damage. I really have no switching for that, and I'd have to kill it pretty much upon revenge kill. I have to sack something each time it came in, mostly. Unless I outsped, of course. But just going to the Alakazam here. I'm actually going to make the double. There was really no reason for him to stay in it right there either. So I was like, well, he's either going to go into the Alakazam or out into the Sylveon, which I did predict. He goes out into the Alakazam. He really can't touch me here. He can go for the side shock, but it does not. It is a 2 KO, so I can kill him in one shot back. Just going to the Salamence here. Judging by this, he is more offensive. More of an offensive set, just judging by this damage. It does run about 30%, so we do get the defense drop there. Even at -1, it does a lot. But at -1, Freeze Breath, or Frost Breath actually does more. So I can always use that to my advantage. I have to get a little bit lower though. I think it only does like 45 to like 50%. So I need a little bit lower for it to kill if I do want to rely on that. Going to Miss Piggy here, take the Dragon Claw. It does actually a shitload. I'm really surprised how much that does. Turns out he actually Life Orb, so that's very nice. If I get my rocks up plus Life Orb and Sand, this thing's going to be slowly dwindled down. It should not be a big problem for me. So right here, I need my rocks up. Gonna click the Stealth Rock at this point. There was really no other play. He had to switch out here. I was assuming either the Blastoise possibly would come in here, or maybe the Sylveon. He does go into Sylveon here. I'm assuming he wants to pass like a Wish, maybe to the Salamence, something like that. I don't know. Maybe Wish out into the Blastoise. He does have leftovers, so that's a good thing to know. He's more, judging by the leftovers, he's actually more of a support set, which I kind of did figure, like towards the beginning of this match. Just judging by his team and Blastoise being more of like a support, or like a rabbit spinning support set. Let's go for the Wish here. I go for the Whirlwind. It actually whirlwinds out into the Lucario, which is absolutely great for me. This thing really can't touch me. It cannot one-shot me in any way, especially if it's a physical variant. If it's like a special variant with like Flash Cannon and possibly like Vacuum Wave and stuff like that, it really can't do shit to me. Focus Blast probably. It still won't be able to kill me from that range, just because the Sand's up. CC does not even kill at this range. I actually stay and actually go for the Earthquake. If he wanted to go out into the Salamence, he could have. It really wasn't that big of a deal. I could just slack off on it as well. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. I go for the Earthquake and I actually end up picking up the kill here. So first kill of the match actually was the Lucario. Very nice. That does put my Lycanroc in a little bit more viability now, just because I don't have to worry about the Bullet Punch pressure or the possible Vacuum Wave pressure either. So Lycanroc looking a little bit more viable in this match towards the late game if I do need it, with the Lucario being gone. Does go into the Super Silker here. He does go for the Scald. He must have got a high roll here, because my calcs actually did say I was actually going to live. It also depended on his set, I guess. I was assuming more if he was like a defensive set, I guess. That's really what I think he would be running, more defensive. But I think I actually did get a high roll there. My calc said that I would barely live if it was not a high roll, so I think he actually did get a high roll right there. Gonna go into Gasper here. I was actually going to bluff the Thunderbolt or possibly something like that. I knew he's going to either switch out here or he's going to stay in. If he stayed in, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I can go right out into the Araquanid if I needed to. And Araquanid pretty much walls Blastoise. It really can't do shit to me apart from like Toxic, which really isn't big a deal. Let's go into the Sylveon here. I'm assuming this is more especially defensive. He predicts like a special Psychic hit or something like Psyshock. Go for the U-turn. I get to go right out in Trojan Magnum here. Araquanid hitting the field. This thing's a complete monster. I think my opponent actually thinks I'm banded as well throughout this match. He might actually think I'm banded. I'm actually assault vested though. So he goes for the Protector just to scout and get more leftovers back. It really isn't that big of play right here. He knows I have Liquidation. That's kind of a no-brainer on every Araquanid. You're going to have Liquidation each set. So it's not really that big of like a reveal on this turn. Right here actually withdraws. He actually again goes out into the Salamence. It's getting to the point where this thing's gonna get dwindled down by rocks and Life Orb damage. I actually ended up getting a low roll right here. If I would have got a high roll, this thing actually would have been killed. I do get a bit of a low roll right here. I did calculate it was a low roll, so barely living. A little bit unfortunate on my turn or my side. I do get the defense drop. Doesn't matter though. At this point, I really don't need Kanata, so I go into the Hitmontop. I pretty much sack the Hitmontop at this point. If he wants to go for something, he goes down to Life Orb. Also was a possibility of him actually Dragon Dancing or possibly Roosting right here. Or going for the Devastating Drake, which I didn't think he had, just because I know he's Life Orb. But that was also a possibility on his set as well, if he would have ran that. Goes with Dragon Claw, goes down to Life Orb, so we get rid of the Salamence. That's another huge threat out of the way. No more needing to possibly deal with Dragon Dance, no Roost pressure, nothing like that. That's a very, very huge threat out of the way. He's going to Blastoise here. He's getting to the point where this Blastoise, if I can keep this thing low, I can get it a little bit lower, I can kill with actually a Flare Blitz. And I can pretty much start sweeping with Darmanitan if I really needed to. At this point, Araquanid and Darmanitan are looking very, very good at this match at this point in the game. I just need to get the Blastoise and the Sylveon a little bit lower, and I think Araquanid and Darmanitan can actually possibly sweep him at this point. Being the Salamence is gone, he has no switch in Darmanitan with Intimidate pressure, and same with the Araquanid. He cannot switch in and get Intimidated off on the Araquanid either. So that's Salamence being gone is very, very huge on my side. He does go for the Rapid Spin. I go for the Protect just to get some toxic damage off again. Rapid Spin, there was really nothing I do to prevent him rapid spinning. I don't have a spin block or anything like that. At this point, rocks really weren't that viable either on his side. Just because I got as much rocks damage off on the Salamence and stuff like that as possible. I broke the possible sash on the Mammal already. It really wasn't that big of a deal getting rid of the rocks. So I just stay in, take the Rapid Spin, go for the Low Kick to get some damage off. Now right here, I possibly thought he was actually going to go into either the Mammal's Wine, possibly, or I think it was Mammal, Sylveon, or the Alakazam, and possibly coming in and actually set up Calm Minds, which I did not want. There was no really drawback to going for Toxic here. I clicked Toxic. If he would have stayed in, it wouldn't really mattered. He could not really do too much anyways to me. I was trying to sack my Hitmontop anyways to just get a free switch in to possibly Gasper or the Darmanitan. He keeps the Blastoise around. I'm assuming he wants to pass a Wish off right here. Now right here's where I start losing a lot of momentum. I really can't do shit to this Sylveon. He's going to start Wish Passing and stuff like that. I cannot let that happen. I cannot let that Blastoise get back up to full health. If it does, we're going to have a huge problem on our hands. Definitely. Gonna go to the Araquanid here, put some pressure on. I need to keep the pressure on in this match. He goes for the Wish right here. Now, either he goes onto the Blastoise, he stays in, goes for the Protect, which I really wouldn't care. He can go right back up to full, but he's still Toxic, and you have to go for the Hue Ball on one of these turns. And from this range it's at, Liquidation's gonna do a shitload, if not kill. So, depending on his save, he's like defensive or special defensive. He does go into Blastoise, so I make the middle ground play and go for the Leech Life here. I'm not sure if the crit actually mattered right here. I don't think it did. I had never calculated if it actually did. I'm adamant though. I think I'm either max special defense or max attack. I know I'm max HP, but I'm not quite sure if that crit mattered. I don't think it did. Get rid of Blastoise. That's a huge, huge threat out of the way. At this point, Darmanitan pretty much just sweeps his team. I just need a little bit more damage, possibly on the Sylveon yet, and then Darmanitan can come in and sweep. I sack the Hitmontop here, get the Intimidate off. Stone Edge actually does not even kill at this range, so that's very nice. I get another turn in on this thing, and possibly some damage off on whatever wants to come in. Now right here, I could have went for the Low Kick, but there was really, again, no drawback going for Toxic, so I go for the Toxic on this turn. Prediction either switch out into the Alakazam or the Sylveon. If you would went into the Sylveon, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm trying to sack this thing anyways. He goes onto the Alakazam, which is probably the best thing. Just because after he Mega Evolves, he will be taking Toxic damage. And if he's like a sub Calm Mindset, Toxic will be there to actually allow us to possibly stall it out, at least. So, good play on my part, going for the middle ground play, going for the Toxic. He does go for the Psyshock. We do not have to Mega Evolve on the first turn in this league, I don't think, so that's really the reason why. He has the Magic Guard right now, so he's not taking any Toxic damage, but the instant he Mega Evolves, he will start taking Toxic damage. So it's always good to have that Toxic on there. That's very, very nice play on my side. I go into the Trojan Magnum here. I could have went out into the Darmanitan, but I wasn't quite sure if I would be able to take out all 3 Mons and actually survive recoil. So I just wanted to play it safe and actually go out into the Trojan. Psyshock only does a little bit over half to me. I can survive a Psyshock if he's like fully offensive, which judging by the damage he is, I think he's either timid or modest by that damage as well. Liquidation comes right through here. We kill this thing no matter what. It's really, I guess it was a huge threat on my side just because I need a free switch in every time. But if I have something to come in and take a hit like once and take the hit and get KO'd on the next turn, I can kill it in one turn, then it really wasn't that big of a deal. But Megazam, very, very big threat against my team, taken care of in a relatively easy fashion there, so that's nice. He actually misses the Stone Edge. Not quite sure how much it really mattered, just because even if he's Scarfed, I go into Darmanitan and actually click Flare Blitz. Even if he's Scarfed, I'll speed no matter what. At this point, the Sylveon I think is in range for, close to in range for the Flare Blitz as well. I'm not quite sure if it 100% killed. He actually lives here. I'm not quite sure if that's a low roll. It doesn't matter at this point. He cannot do shit. He actually misses the Hyper Beam. He's actually carrying Hyper Beam Sylveon, so that's props to my opponent for running Hyper Beam Sylveon. Very, very unique. Uh, Goes for the Hyper Beam again. It actually doesn't even kill me. I'm really surprised by this. That actually assumes that he's actually pretty much, I think, max HP, either defensive or special defensive. That's what that says. I go for the Frost Breath just for BP. It's a crit every time. The crit doesn't matter. It's a part of the move. And we actually pick up a 4 with Lycanroc, and the Darmanitan not even hitting the field in this match. So those two got the week off pretty much, and we played very, very well in this match. I really want to pat myself on the back. I played insanely well in this match. Props to my opponent as well. He played pretty well. I think it was just a matter of getting rid of the Blastoise on my part. Once I got rid of the Blastoise and the Salamence, I think Darmanitan looked very, very nice, and really does a lot. It really is such a huge threat to his draft. Definitely is. Again, I played super well in this match, so pat on the back for me. Let me know what you guys do think of this match in the comment section down below, and drop a like and subscribe as well. That'd be awesome. Next week, I'm not quite sure who we're going against, but possibly I actually might need someone to gen my Mons again. These teams actually gen my Brent as well. Goes to Lucanos Lucario, so shout out to him. Thanks for genning my Mons this week. Currently, I'm actually just getting all the Mons right now that I can actually breed. I've got a Flabébé, Rotom, etc. I've been breeding like a shitload of them. I don't think next week I'll be ready to like start getting my own Mons stuff. Possibly someone might actually be able to need a gen for me next week, but I think next probably 1 or 2 weeks I should have my Mons. Be able to get my Mons myself, and we'll actually be using my own Mons. So that's always something fun to use. Using my own Mons that I breed myself. Satisfaction of winning with your own Mons is always very nice. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. See you guys next week with OBA Season 4 Week 2 next week. Peace.